Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So this is part 2 of my video on 19th century glass cutting, and I would like to say it's more of the same, but it's not. There's changes happening, but also I need to go back, for one thing, back to the first half of the 19th century, because I thought I have something really spectacular to show you. I don't know, I wouldn't say tour de force, but yeah, a really impressive piece of cut glass. I thought I'd get it out because I'm going to sell this thing. It's been in the attic for quite a few years, so I've decided shift it. Anyway, let's get on and I'll show you the thing that I'm going to show you. This is the thing that I've dragged down. I downsized our house several years ago. We had this in the dining room and it doesn't really go now. So anyway, the reason it looks massive compared to these decanters behind is because it is massive. And this would probably be from something like 1840s, maybe 1830s, but probably something like that. It comes in two parts. Look at that. You've got this bit here, but I'll show you the cutting on it, just to show you how it's got these like fine diamonds, and you've got little lenses and stars, and you've got panels cut around here. These panels kind of tell you, oh, it's probably not earlier than what I'm saying. And also show you the bottom half here. Put this down. Okay, don't go anywhere, just stay where you are. I don't want it to roll around. There we go, it stopped, that's it. Whew. Anyway, so look at this. Look how fine the cutting is. So this would have belonged to someone. Got your hobnails here. Got a little bit of step cutting in the neck as well, and just below here. This is what's making me think, you know, it kind of probably, if I was going to date this, I'd say 1835 to 1845 or something like that. Also got the fine diamonds here. Yeah, so, and the hole goes all the way through. But yeah, this is a monster piece of glass cutting. But, you know, the base of the foot is cut, so that's cut to make it level, and then the top is also polished so that the bit sits on that too. But yeah, so this would have been in some very posh person's house, and if you'd have had it in the middle of the dining room table, or if you were super posh and you had a table that sort of like sat 20, 30, 40 people, you might have 2 or 3 of these things. So yeah, it's impressive, and it's for something that someone pretty rich would have had, really. So anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd show you this, how far you can go as far as actually size wise in glass cutting. I realised I've not talked much about glasses, so I thought I'd pull a few out. Now, in the early 19th century, when you look in the catalogues for like white friars or absolute pellets, and those are the ones that I've got that you can actually see what's going on, you see a lot of glasses like this, not exactly like this, but with this kind of cut panels. Sometimes the panels are going all the way down, but these are all kind of basically, this is the cutting that they were doing. This is what was fashionable, to just have panels like this cut. And I said you'd have different shaped glasses, but essentially in the two catalogues I have, sort of like that, are really 1830s wise. This is what's going on, you know, just panels. all sorts of different shapes of glasses. There's custard glasses and jelly glasses. Well, that is a jelly glass, but not always with these knobs. But yeah, and this is a little bucket bowl. You can see the best. So this might be Irish, because it's got the cork style vesica and diamond. But yeah, you've got cut stem, little panels, and you've got a tumbler here. Look at this. Panels cut. Yeah, this is what was going on. And what I will do is I'll just push these back a bit, and we'll push through. And I don't have masses of cut glass in glasses from the Victorian era, from the late Victorian era, but I will show you something. So yeah, it's a frosted glass. It's a bit big. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit big. So this is a Whitefriars glass. This pattern's in the 1855 catalogue, and you can see this is a massive departure from what was going on before. I know this is size-wise it's massive, but if you look at the cutting that's going on here in this stem, there's lots of plain glasses with this look, with little panels. You've got this and star cut base becomes much more frequent. And things like this, where you've got diamonds, and then you've got this cut stem. And this stem is a kind of looking back to the 1780s as a style, but obviously the whole shape of the glass, the shape of the stem is completely different to what they were doing in the 1780s. Yeah, it's also got polished pontle mark, and yeah, so I don't know what the date is that, but it's probably mid-Victorian. And then high class stuff. I could have brought something bigger, but I thought I'd bring this just to show you. This is a little liqueur cordial glass, but look at the cutting on that. So really going off. This is from the 1880s. So yeah, I think this is Stevens and Williams, called Bordeaux pattern. And also I thought I'd show you something common. Okay, so all the catalogues have glasses like this. Different shaped tumblers, but this slight different widths of the foot. And this is a kind of tumbler that came in at that time period, and never really went away up until I think the war, World War II, that is. So yeah, this was a very kind of, I see this in catalogues from the 1770s, and it just keeps going. Oh, actually there is another glass, I'll go and get it. I'll stop for a second. I've been down the shed, brought a few things back. Let me shift a few things out of the way. Put this here, and the thing that I brought back, and this is very interesting for a completely different reason, is this, and I brought this one as well, a little one, just to go with it. So these are pub glasses. This is an ale glass, and you can see here's all these little lenses cut into it, and then you've got a little port glass, yeah, with similar lenses. So these are pub glasses, yeah, and what I've seen them sort of like appearing from the 1870s. They might be a bit earlier, but these were then progressed into pressed glasses, where all of these little lenses start to join up. Yeah, so you get glasses this shape with these lenses, and then you start to get mugs, and then you start to get, you know, half pint and 1 pint beer mugs with this pattern, but it's all blended out because it's pressed glass. And yeah, so just this is and really those kinds of glasses, they don't use them in pubs anymore, but they were used probably up until the 80s. I seem to remember them being used until that long. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw those as an interest, but I don't have masses of late Victorian or Victorian cut glass, but I do have some more things to show you some trends and show you some unusual trends that you might not be expecting. So I'm showing you a couple of decanters here that are probably from the 1850s or 60s. This is kind of like the post removal of the excise tax on glass by weight. So yeah, cutting is, I mean, we'll look at this one first, but again, check it out. But the base is quite thick, and then you've got star cut bottom, but it just not so much here. This is actually fairly flatly cut, but off the neck and around this and all this, this is all, yeah, there's a lot of glass cut away here. And it's nice in that the stopper, got these little diamonds with the little crosses in them, matches the diamonds with the crosses in them here. This thing is a different thing altogether. This is just, the whole thing is cut, and look how much, if you look at the difference in thickness, if you look at how much glass must have been cut away to make this hexagonal shape, and just, yeah, masses of glass being cut away all over. This would have started as a ball to make it into this kind of diamondy shape. You know, you're probably halving the weight of it. And the same with the bottle. And if you're paying tax on the glass at 300% by weight before it's cut, then you don't want to cut half of it away, because actually you've paid tax on that. Actually, I found these and I thought I could use these to create a sequence. So I've got 3 shaft and globe decanters here, and I can show you what was going on. So this is really sitting into your 1845 to 55 period. You've got, it's quite heavy. I know it's uranium glass. Ignore the fact that it's uranium glass. It's got these panels cut out of it, big deep channels cut into it. These lenses, yeah, the neck is heavily cut. Look, panels all the way up the neck, and then actually the lip is cut and the top, and then the stopper. So yeah, this is, and this neck ring is really a hangover from the Georgian times, but yeah, so this is how kind of like 1850s goes. Then as you're going through the middle Victorian, lenses like this become very popular, and decanters have different amounts. So some will just have like a single row that are spaced, and they get closer together. Then they might have 2 rows. This one has got 3, and then they might have no cutting on the neck. Then they might have panels cut up the neck, and then this one has got scale cut neck. This is really the luxury version. Got a little star cut base, and yeah, so you know, you could probably buy this decanter in this exact shape with different levels of cutting, but all based on the same thing, where you just have like a single row or 2 rows of these lenses cut, and then either no neck cutting or whatever. So yeah. And then at the other end, and we're kind of still sticking with traditional cutting, but yeah, this is much more kind of pleasing in a way. They're not trying too hard with the cutting. Yeah, there's a lot of cutting, because like the cutting is from here to here, right under the neck and everything, and you've got these little bits cut out of it, but it's not trying too hard. You've got a lovely finely cut star on the base, and then you've got this, and this is something that comes in the Victorian era, this faceted stopper like this. And yeah, right up to modern times they carried on using faceted stoppers like this. So yeah, you kind of got a sequence of how cutting looked over this same period, with the same theoretically shaped decanter. They're all shaft and globe. The shapes have changed over time, but that's neither here nor there. It's just heavy duty. Then you've got a style, and then you've got even more style, I would say. Just my thoughts on it, that's all. So, in the 1870s, and I think part of this was fed by Christopher Dresser, was that movement towards not cutting glass to making glass fine. It's part of the aesthetic movement, and I've got couple of pieces here that are part of that. Now, the cutting that is on them is very skillful, because the glass is actually quite delicate, and let me show you. Take the stopper out of this. So this is quite thin, and the neck has been cut, if I can get it to focus on it. There you go. Cut with panels, and then little tiny notches have been cut in those panels. So yeah, that is the only cutting on this. You see it's really kind of like arcing back to Renaissance glass, apart from this little bit of cutting here, and I'll show you what they've done with the stopper as well. So they've put the same panels on it, and then cut little notches. Yeah, it's even got a hollow thing, so this is not very heavy, but they've managed to cut panels into it. And then this is even, so this is not super thin, but the cutting is quite skillful. I've got a few of these decanters, I'll just show you this one. So it's got the word brandy cut into it. So yeah, this is Stephen. So that's probably from the 1880s. This is from the 1890s, and it's Stevens and Williams. That's quite cool, and it's so subtly done. Put it back there. You don't even notice it's there, but a lot of work has gone into that. They did do some really fancy works, though. There are ones like this which are cased with all sorts of patterns cut through, and yeah, they make loads of money, and I don't have any of those to show you. So yeah, they did do some, Stevens and Williams did do some fantastic cutting. I showed you the little barred little liqueur glass earlier. Yeah, in that kind of category of stuff. But yeah, I'm going to move on to the 20th century next. So yeah, I am going to move on to the 20th century, and before you start beating me up and telling me, oh, what about intaglio cut glass? So I have a bit of that, and the problem is that it straddles the sort of like late 1800s, and some of it could even be up to the 1930s. It's difficult to date a lot of it. It's really fine work, and I'm going to do that as its own video because it's really fitting into a 50-year time period, and I can guess at some of the dates on some of it, but it's not, strictly speaking, it straddles the time period, so I'm not going to fit that into this delineation. And what I'm going to do with the 20th century is I'm going to show you there's a lot of pastiche stuff going on. I don't really have much of that. In fact, I had some and I've eBayed it over time. But I will show you what I would consider 20th century cut glass. It's going to be nearly all decanters, I think. But yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Cool cut glasses. Because obviously this is what I own. Yeah. Anyway, we will be moving on to 20th century. And with that said, I didn't use any references. You're going to have to trust me on what I said and what I showed you. And please remember to like and subscribe because it really helps my channel. And thank you for watching and have a good night. Good night.